You may notice that in relationships, you may notice that in relationships, you have a hard time getting out of the really rough runs, the really challenging relationships where there's like a toxic element to it. So what I want to do is I want to spend some time with you. And this is more of just kind of throwing out some thoughts out here and seeing what effect they have. The topic is really connected to individuals that find themselves in relationships that they're able to acknowledge in a rational way are not healthy. So these are unhealthy relationships. The relationships are toxic, yet you continue to find yourself in those relationships, whether it's going back to them or just struggling to get out. And the question comes up of why. So that's kind of what I want to break down here. So hopefully as you walk away from this video, you're able to gain, educational nuggets, if you will, points of insight so that you can break free from some of those habits and behaviors, some of that mindset, and then move forward to a life that, you deserve. The first one is, the first one has to do with unresolved trauma. At times a person may stay in a relationship, right? So like if I'm in a relationship and there's this really toxic element to it of abuse taking place, I don't feel heard, I feel neglected. What may have led to this, to the ongoing, situation is that I grew up in a home where maybe there was a lot of abuse taking place. And over time I just got used to it. I got used to it to the point that I now find myself in a relationship. And my friend Bob says, this is not a healthy relationship. But my mind says, look, I know what a unhealthy relationship is. I grew up in a house that was just wild. And what I'm going through now is nowhere near that. So this is fine. So what's happening here is that I went through a trauma, and sometimes a trauma can literally impact how we function and live our life. To support in this area, it's important to give yourself a strong support system, people that can give you insight, be a fly on the wall, let you know, at least from their end, in a non-judgmental, non way without criticism, to support you. In addition, working with a counselor, really having this unbiased person who is able to peek in and kind of look at the behaviors of what's taking place. Both of those could be avenues of support. Another reason why individuals may stay within, really unhealthy relationships has to do with self-esteem, right? So if you think about self-esteem, right? Self-esteem is how you feel about yourself in some ways. You're believe in yourself. Now, if I'm in a relationship and I share with you that I have low self-esteem because of maybe certain things have happened in life and I am where I'm at, my low self-esteem may cause me to feel really poorly about myself. I may share things with you like I don't, I feel undeserving. I feel like no one loves me. I feel ugly. And now I find myself in a relationship and this person is with me. Though trauma, though it's toxic, though it's an unhealthy relationship, I may stay in this relationship. And that's connected to my self-esteem. And within the self-esteem, that's connected to doubt and insecurity that, well, I can't leave this relationship because no one else is going to want me. I can't, or I deserve this type of treatment. And that's connected to my low self-esteem. If you find yourself struggling in that area, again, counseling can be a wonderful way to gain insight while also working on building blocks. Self-esteem, it's like a muscle. You think about your bicep, and if we don't exercise it, it doesn't get too strong. If we cause trauma to it, it can become very weak. But we know that just like any other muscle, you give it time, you exercise it, you give it rest, recovery, you take care of it, and it's going to get really strong. And your self-esteem, my friends, can get really strong as well. It can go up and up and up. It just takes that discipline and that time. And that's a wonderful way to really support with addressing, that area of getting out of unhealthy relationships. The last one that I want to share with you, this one has to do with a behavior of self-sabotage. Now, the behavior of self-sabotage is where, because it has that self element, that's where you are getting in your own way. At times this happens within relationships that have that toxic element. And it could be that I'm in a relationship, right? And my partner has engaged in just ongoing for years negative behaviors of mistreatment, maybe betrayal and so forth. and peers around me, they're sharing and been sharing to exit out. Yet I remain, and I remain due to that self-sabotage. Maybe I do things as far as stay in because of fear of being on my own. Or maybe I feel undeserving. So then I stay within the relationship. And by staying in the relationship, it is an act of self-sabotage where it doesn't it hinders me from growing and from allowing me to heal and to recover and to live the life that I deserve, to live, if you will. So I want you to think about those, as you walk away from this video. One of the key points that I want to share with you is that it's important for us to give ourselves grace, to give ourselves self-compassion and self-love. Books have a story and we have a story. You may find yourself, today in a relationship that has a lot of unhealthy elements. And know that today doesn't have to be tomorrow. At some point we can kind of wake up a little bit, find a healthy, strong support system that keeps us accountable, if you will, that's there for us, that gives us safety and comfort. We can seek external resources like counseling, self-help books, and then we're able to bridge out of those relationships. And in time, as you disconnect, that healthy space really allows you to see things clear. Sometimes when we're so close, it becomes really challenging to clearly see what's taking place. I hope that you found this video helpful. As always with all of them, feel free on the bottom to comment, let me know what you think, your thoughts. I hope that you are living, a wonderful life. I hope that you are smiling more days than not. Thank you. Thank you for spending time with me, for watching. Take care, my friends.